Welcome to Allie's Attic, where you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is a singer from Pennsylvania who is just amazing, Frank Shiner. Hi, Frank.
Hi, how are you, Allie?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It's an exciting time right now.
I love the music from the 70s. I love the blue-eyed soul, as you call it, and what you do is you don't do covers, as you say. You interpret songs, reinterpret them. And if you can't put your own spin on it, you won't do it. So basically tell me how you started and to where you are now.
Well, growing up in Pennsylvania, I actually grew up in mountaintop Pennsylvania, and it was a very remote area. And we didn't have access to a whole lot of music. I kind of wore out a few albums that were laying around the house, and it was anywhere from Sinatra, and then I got my hands on Frampton Comes Alive, the Frampton album, and I think I wore right through the groove on that album. And but it was an eclectic mix of music, and the thing with growing up in an area like that is you need to do things to keep yourself entertained. There were very few, and there was very little access to people, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned to just kind of riff and make up melodies and rhythms, and I still remember some of them that I used to do when I was a little boy. And I think it helped me with improvisation. And I was always involved in music in grade school, high school, seasonal singers and chorus and bands and whatnot. But then I was asked to audition for the senior musical when I was 16 years old, and I was young for my grade. And I was quite scared. The nun, the sister who asked me to audition, was very really kind underneath, and she forced me really to get up there and try out for the play. And I stuttered through it, and I got nervous, and I tried it again, and I tried it again. She had me keep trying, and I got smoother and smoother with it. And then I ended up getting the lead in the senior musical and rehearsed it the summer before senior year. And that was my first real show, on-stage experience.
Wow.
And with Henry Higgins and My Fair Lady.
Oh.
Believe it or not, I was a kid.
Nice.
But, I felt the energy of that audience. And I think I've been addicted to that ever since.
Okay.
But the practical side of me took over, and I went to college to be a government pre-law major.
Wow.
That lasted a grand total of 1 month. And I knew I had to change majors, and I went to the guidance counselor, and he gave me the best advice I think anybody ever gave me. He said, I don't know what to tell you to do. I can just tell you that if you don't like it now, 1 month in, you're never going to make it through law school. So I can only tell you to follow your heart, do what your heart tells you to do. Greatest advice.
Yeah.
I got up, shook his hand, smiled, walked down the hallway, and changed my major to theater. I became a theater major.
Wow.
So I ended up doing Shakespeare, Moliere, David Mamet, all the modern playwrights too. And I had a lot of experience with 4 solid years in that theater department. It was wonderful. And I moved to New York right out of college.
Okay.
And started my career. And that was in music, musicals, bands, as well as plays and Shakespeare.
Wow. That's awesome. To go from law to music.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to be practical, but I'm very, very impractical.
Well, that's okay. I'm glad you went to music because you have a beautiful voice. Now, talk about Lonely Town, Lonely Street. That's your CD that's out right now. 2 of the songs we're going to play off of that. Now, like I said, I am a huge fan of the 70s, and the people that you love, I love. And I think it is absolutely awesome that you're reintroducing these songs and this type of genre to people that have never heard it. I just think it's amazing. So talk about that, and talk about when you say you don't do covers, you reinterpret songs. Talk about that. Like, it just blows me away what you do. So yeah, I'm totally curious about it.
Well, thank you so much for that question, because you're striking a chord. It's a very important thing in my life. First of all, Blue Eyed Soul. A lot of people don't realize what it is. Georgie Woods was a black radio personality back in the 60s, and he coined the phrase Blue Eyed Soul when he was describing the Righteous Brothers. And it has since morphed into, Hall & Oates and more modern acts like Amy Winehouse. God rest her soul. She was a wonderful artist.
Yeah.
And even as recent as Justin Timberlake. And I have loved the genre. And, it's not straight R&B or soul. It also has little touches of blues in it, little touches of jazz in it, which my style is a blending of a lot of different styles. I mean, you'll even hear a little bit of classical here and there. I kind of blend it all together, and when I listen to music, I don't pick up an artist and listen to an artist. I go for playlists on different streaming platforms, and I will pick a genre, and I'll listen to a genre for the whole day, then I'll listen to another genre, and I take a little bit of each one. Well, what I found in all that listening is that there are songs out there that really needed a second chance. Now, there's two types of songs that are out there. There's songs that are really good that needed a second chance. I should say there's songs the songs that I choose from are ones that needed a second chance, and that I could bring something new to, or make a more modern arrangement, still staying true to the original, of course, and give them a new life. So that's song type number one that I pick. Song type number two that I pick is a classic that has become too familiar. What I mean by that, how do I explain it? If there's a door and it's push-pull, and you put a sign on it, a big red sign that says, push. Well, the first time you walk up to that door and you see the sign push, it means something to you. But the 10th time you walk up to that door, you begin to take the sign for granted, you forget about it, and you end up pulling. I think if you hear a song too many times over and over again, even though it's a classic and even though you love it, you stop thinking about the lyrics. And the lyrics are the most important thing to me.
Yes.
And I think I listen for songs that people have forgotten how important the lyric is, and I reinterpret that song and try to bring a new life to that lyric. And the best compliment I get is when somebody comes up to me and says, I never really thought of the words to that song. I never really understood what it meant, and now I get it.
Wow.
So that's what I'm trying to do here.
Well, and you know what? It's been a subject that we've been talking about like crazy with everybody I interview. It's time to go back to the singer-songwriters and the lyrics of songs, especially now when the world is in such turmoil. And I think people really need to hear songs that, give them hope and talk about love. And all your songs that you do that, because they are older songs that people maybe have never heard or never really listened to, like you say. And you're bringing them back, and it just touches my heart. I can't even describe how it makes me feel. I love listening to you.
Allie, you're connected with me. You say everything that I believe. I love that. And you know what's really heartening about this? I'm going to shows, and there's high school. When I go do shows, high school kids are coming now. An 18-year-old came to my Barnes & Noble book signing. I didn't write a book. Album signing. The song. A 16-year-old found me online and came to my big show at a performing arts center with 400 people in it, and came up to me afterward and said, I just love the lyrics. I love what you're doing with this music. I mean, kids are listening.
Yeah.
And then adults. It's all ages. So it's striking a chord, and I think there is a real need out there, as you said so well. I think there's a real need and a desire to just let go of all the garbage in the world and the strife and the politics, and just listen to a beautiful piece of music. And a piece of music, if the lyrics are right, it's a play in and of itself. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and a message.
Yeah.
And each one has to be that for me.
And the ones that you've picked, like I'm going to talk about some of the artists that you're recording, like the Rascals, Brooke Benton, Sam and Dave, Elton John, Bill Withers, who I love, and Donny Hathaway, who I also love. And when I say I listen to the 70s, I mean 24/7. I don't watch TV except for The Voice. I'm just a huge fanatic, but I listen to music constantly. And it's always the 70s. My stepdad teases me all the time because he can walk into my room and sing a song with me. So, like I said, I think it needs to come back. I think the lyrics need to talk to people. I mean, and you do. Your voice, Frank, oh my God. Like, you've won 2 LA Music Critic Awards. That says a lot right there.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So, having 16-year-olds come to your show makes me happy. I have 2 grandchildren. One's 12, one's 11. And they can sing songs from the 70s because they're listening to everything I listen to.
Yeah.
But one thing my granddaughter said that I will never, ever forget. She was listening to, oh my God, now I can't even remember the name of the song. Okay, now, never mind. I'll think of it. My mind's going 10 million different places. Anyways, she said to me, Grandma, I love that song. It really is a nice song. And I said, well, what do you like about it? She goes, well, the words that they're saying. And it just kind of took me aback because you don't think they listen, and they do. I mean, they pick up everything. And it was Stevie Nicks, Leather and Lace. Now, that's more of the rock side. But it was, I love Stevie Nicks. I wanted to be her when I grew up. So that was the song. And that was the song that she said she loved. So I can see 16-year-olds coming to your show. I mean, hands down. They're going to want to hear what you have to say. And it's like classics that need to be heard. They're endless. They're timeless. And you're bringing them back. And I love that.
Oh, thank you. My daughter is a singer. She's 17 years old. She's going off for a BFA in theater and music when she graduates in a few months here. But she's been exposed to this her whole life, and she actually comes up and does songs with me and duets, and she writes her own music too. It's absolutely beautiful. And you should hear the bluesy, jazzy sound that she has in her music, and really is a lyricist, a beautiful lyricist. But she'll take a classic. And God, she just at a festival the other night, they got up and did Stormy Monday, the classic blues song Stormy Monday, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And the fact that these kids are now listening to lyrics again and thinking about it, these aren't the 30-somethings. These are the 20 and unders that are really doing it, and then 35 and up are doing it too. There's a middle ground, and I don't know if it's the hip hop generation or what. Not to say anything bad about another form of music, but they're looking for rhythm and dance, and they're not listening to lyrics at all. And that has a place in music too. I don't mean that it doesn't, but I think we have stripped all lyrics away from music for the most part, but I'm noticing it coming back now.
Yeah,
and that's exciting to me.
Yeah, it is exciting. And you're right in the right place at the right time. I've had so many people tell me, I had Jesse Lee on, who is a country singer. And we were talking about The Voice, and we were talking about Blake Shelton, and he was talking about Lauren Dusky, saying, she is a singer-songwriter, and that's what the world needs now. And Jessie Lynn said it best. She said, we're poised on the cusp of music changing, not just country music, all music, where they're going back to the singer-songwriters, and they want to hear people's lives, and they want to hear their stories, and there's something in every song that relates to something that happens to you, and that, it boggles my mind. Songwriters, I had a songwriter on, I keep telling everybody this, because I don't get the process. It just blows me away that somebody can sing a song that has something to do with what happened to me. But everybody is going through everything the same. But you bringing back these classics is you're reintroducing this wonderful music to all kinds of ages. And you do it so well. And it's just, I thank you. Thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, hey, thank you for listening and appreciating it.
Yeah, no worries. Now, you also had a CD I can't remember. Was it your CD that you donated all the proceeds to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital?
It was my Christmas song.
Okay.
I believe it was Driving Home for Christmas. It was either that one or Please Come Home for Christmas.
Okay, yeah, it was Driving Home for Christmas, yeah.
My dad, God rest his soul, my dad was, he just loved St. Jude's Children's Hospital, so I kind of did it in my dad's honor. And, I just wanted to do something nice and give back a little bit.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. And it was Driving Home for Christmas. Now,
I think it was.
Yeah, it was. Now, I've got your bio in front of me, and I mean, it's huge. You've done so many things. And I keep talking about this CD and what you do with these songs because it just, I mean, I love it. Otherwise, honestly, I wouldn't have you on my show, right? So I'm glad you came on. Now, your approach, I guess, to your work as an artist and in life is after people heard your last album, you got letters and comments from people who knew the story of how you got back into performing, sharing how they were inspired to get back into teaching, writing, and music, and how they've gone back to those things in their later years. That must be so amazing to hear that you've had that influence on people.
Yeah, it makes it all worth it. When you get a letter from somebody that's really ill, like a painting, or somebody that went through a horrible divorce and they decide to go back to school, and they say that in some small way that your music or your show or your story had something to do with inspiring that. At this point in my life, I live for moments like that because, and I think that speaks to, any artist. We tend to deepen the way we think, and our heart grows as we get older. And I think before I was 30, 35, I barely shed a tear. And I was almost concerned that maybe am I cold? Am I unfeeling? And then as I went through life experiences and experienced tragedy like we all do and loss, began to realize how precious life is. And I began to feel more deeply. Now I have to hold back tears all the time. Even during shows, I'm singing a song and it hits me. And I start to get choked up, or I'm dedicating a song to my beautiful wife, and I get choked up. And I think with any art, if you're a painter, that's going to spill over to your painting, and a writer, that's going to spill into your writing. And it spills into my music now. So my music has to have a purpose now. I'm at a point where I realize how precious life is. I almost lost somebody that was very, very close to me to a terrible illness. She's fine now, thank God. I did lose my dad right around the time that I was getting back into this, and he was my best friend in the world. My father was my best man at my wedding. I never had a brother. I had 3 older sisters, who I love dearly, of course, but the male figure in my life was my father, and we were not only father-son, but we were best of friends.
Wow.
And all of this was happening at the same time, and it has poured into the music. And if that inspires somebody in some way or inspires another artist, then I've accomplished more than I could ever dream.
Wow, that is awesome. And I mean, that's why people should be doing what they're doing in art, is to give hope and inspire. I mean, it's a message, and you have to be able to deliver it, and you deliver it well. Now, have you ever written any of your songs? Is there any? I mean, are you going to be coming out with a CD that it's Frank Shiner, or is it going to be what you're doing?
I haven't put it out there yet. I study music very carefully, and I listen very carefully, and I'm probably my own worst critic. So I listen to my own songs, or I play my own songs, or I think about my own songs, and I'm just not ready
Not
put
yet.
it out in front of anybody yet. I'm getting there, getting closer.
Well, you're
But I'm
gonna.
not ready yet because then I look back at the great songwriters and say, yeah, I'm not quite there yet. Why do it when there's such good music out there? I'm just at that point now. I haven't come to grips with it yet, and it's just a matter of time.
Okay. Well, when you
before I
do,
get the right collection.
Yeah.
Put out there.
when you do, you're coming back because I would love to hear. Just because the songs you pick. I know that when you write, it's gonna be amazing. So yeah, you definitely have to come back on my show when you have your own CD out there. Now, if you had to pick one of your favorites, I mean, I have one, and I will tell you what it is. And you sing it, oh my God, so well. You melt me. What song is one of your favorites?
You know, it's such a good question, Allie, and I don't mean to be flip with this answer because it actually means something. My favorite song is the one I'm working on at the time. Whatever I'm working on at the time is my favorite song. It is so hard for me to pick a favorite.
Yeah.
You know, it's like do you like chocolate or apple pie better. I mean, it's whatever I'm eating at the time. I'm enjoying it. I get so immersed in the song. I don't just do a song. I listen to it. I listen to different versions of it. I write out the lyrics. I speak the lyrics, and then I sing them. To me, it's the lyric first, and then I look at it musically. So I fall in love with them, and every time I do them, they're a new experience because I go through it as I'm singing it. I don't ever phone it in or just sing it. I'm thinking about it, and sometimes it takes on different characters. So to pick a favorite song is just nearly impossible for me because I feel like I'm cheating on the other songs. You know?
Exactly. You know, that's just such a good analogy.
This one's my favorite. I just cheated on all of them.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that. Well, I'm going to tell you what my favorite song is. I'm going to cheat. I have so many favorite songs. Like, people look at me crazy sometimes when I say, oh my God, that's one of my favorite songs. Well, I thought this was your favorite song. Hands down, one of my favorite songs that you cover is Rainy Night in Georgia. Hands down.
Oh, yeah.
It's my favorite song. And you do it so well. Like I say, you melt me. It's just amazing. And whoever hasn't heard of you is going to hear the two songs that we're going to play and go to your website and discover you even more because you deserve to be discovered. What you do is just amazing.
Oh, look, you know how to make a guy feel good, and I just want to call you just so you can talk to me.
Well, I'm always here. Now, one of the things I tell all my artists, if you come out with something new, like your CD, whatever, or you do another CD where you're, putting a twist on all these old classics, always contact me because I will put it up. I have a new page that I put up called Allie's Odds and Ends. And it's the joy of my job doing this. It's not even a job. I'm not getting paid. It's a passion. Is I get to discover people like you, and I get them, once I've had them on, they're sending me, all their new art and new stuff that's never been released. And I get to introduce it to all my listeners. And I mean, it is worldwide. So it's really, really cool for me. I absolutely love it. And, yeah, anytime. And if yeah, thank you. Well, and if you come out with your new CD and it's your songs, I totally want you on. Now, your daughter, if you want her to maybe come on my show, if she's got time and she's got some of her own songs or whatever the case may be, my door's always open. So you can point her in my direction if you want.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And, yeah, now I'm also going to have, Frank, just so you know, I've just started this. It's going to be every Wednesday, and it's going to be via Skype. It's only going to be audio because, unfortunately, I don't go live. But I'm picking artists to perform 3 songs. So if you would be interested in that, let me know because I would love to have you on just with a guitar because your voice is just like chocolate. So if you want to do that, if you want to do that, keep it in the back of your mind. I'm starting it on the 31st. And I'm asking every artist that has been on or new artists if they want, come on and perform. Because not only this way,
honored.
Yeah. And I mean, people get to know you doing the interview and putting your songs up on my website. That's great. but people don't get to hear you perform. And there's always a difference from the songs that I put up that are off of a CD, an MP3, to hearing somebody live with just a guitar, or even if they have their band. I mean, I'm not a musician, so I don't know how hard it is to get set up to do just 3 songs. But yeah, keep that in the back of your mind, because if you want to come on, I'm going to ask a favor though. If you do come on, which I hope you do, can one of your songs be Rainy Night in Georgia?
Absolutely.
I'm going to be...
Hey, it's one of my favorites, but I'm not going to call it my favorite because I don't want to see the other song.
Exactly. Well, hopefully you will come on and we'll get to hear you play that live. Now, if you had any advice, you've had such a vast range of experience. If you had any advice to give any new artists starting out, what would it be, Frank?
Allie, can I answer that with a story?
Definitely. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So when I got back into music, and I got called in to actually run a band for the director of this musical festival. And we did, 4 hours every Saturday night of the Great American Songbook and so on. There was a young guitar player there. At the time, he was 28 years old. And he was spectacular. And I got up just coming back into music. I was singing, and we were playing off of each other. And I was giving a ride to the train station after a show once. We could go back into the city. And he said, "Frank, I want to tell you something." He said, "You light a fire under our..." We'll say butt. You light a fire under our butt. What do you mean? He said, "Even at my young age, we become so esoteric, and it becomes so rote, and we end up phoning it in, and we get bored with it, and we forget why we went into music." He said, "Then you come up there, and you are experiencing such joy, and you are so excited, and you love it so much that you remind us why we're doing it." And he said, the whole band plays better when you come up.
Wow.
Because of your excitement.
Uh-huh.
So what would my advice be to any young artist? Don't lose the love for it. Don't lose that excitement. You went into music because you love it. You went into music because it's exciting, because it's fun. Hey, it's hard to make a living as an artist, but don't sell out. And don't give up. And don't forget that it's still supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. That's when your true creativity is going to come out. That's when you're really going to reach your potential.
Wow. That is great advice. That is phenomenal advice. And you do light a fire under people just listening to you. I'm just telling you, like, Frank, I'm seriously in love with your voice. Now, we're going to hear 2 songs from you. What songs are we going to hear?
Well, we've already established, I think, one is Rainy Night in Georgia.
Yeah.
Your favorite.
Yep.
Proud to say it's your favorite. The other one is a Young Rascals tune. Everybody probably knows it. It's How Can I Be Sure? This one is really special to me because Gene Cornish, one of the original Young Rascals, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, original performers of this song, he came to our album listening party a few weeks ago, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he loved our version. He came to it because he heard we did it. He liked it so much he got on stage with us at the Cutting Room in New York City and played this song with us. And we've since become friends. So he was just up with us 3 or 4 Saturdays ago. And what I heard, it was done in the 60s style when it came out, late 60s. And it's a little bit more up-tempo. And when I sat and listened and wrote those words out and spoke it spoke to the uncertainty that we all feel sometimes when we're in love. And I said, I've got to focus on the lyrics of this song, and it just came alive for me. and we slowed it down a little bit. We still keep it somewhat rhythmic, but we have a real stripped down but really cool vibe behind it with the musicians. And it just hit a chord, and it's one of the most popular songs on the album right now.
Awesome. So we're going to see we're going to hear How Can I Be Sure and Rainy Night in Georgia. And they're both awesome. All the songs. I urge everybody to go out and get the CD. I urge everybody to purchase your songs. I mean, you can purchase them anywhere online. And your website is frankshiner.com. It's going to be up on my website, so people will be able to find you. They're going to be able to sample your music because these two songs are going to be up there. And I know they're going to fall in love with you as much as I have. And,
oh, thank you.
you're welcome. Keep going. Like I said, anytime something new happens, contact me via Twitter and we'll put it up there. And definitely, I'm so looking forward to you writing your own, just because I can hear the love in your voice when you sing these songs. So I can just imagine the greatness that's going to come out of you when you finally, because I'm like you, I question myself constantly, so I understand where you're coming from. But when you do finally get it out, I hope you contact me and you come back on. So Frank, this has been awesome.
I have quite a number already written.
Yeah.
I just haven't been ready for anybody to hear it.
Well, I'll launch you because I think it's going to be awesome. So Frank, thank you so much for coming on my show. I totally appreciate it. You taking time out of your, life to come on.
Thank you. I feel like I made a new friend here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. That is so sweet. And I'm hoping you come to Winnipeg at some point because I know I'll be first in line for tickets because your show would be amazing. So, thank you very much.
I will get you a ticket and a backstage pass.
Oh, well, all right. I'm there. Get to Winnipeg. I'm going to put that on the website. Everybody can get a hold of concert promotion people and get you here because, that would be an awesome show. So, thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic. Keep checking my website because you never know what kind of surprises you'll find in my attic. Cheers.